The price bar turns blood red. Your stomach clenches, your heart hammers against your ribs, and a hot wave of anger washes over you. You did everything right. The setup was perfect, the analysis flawless, but the market. It betrayed you. Again. You slam your fist on the desk, the screen mocking you with a loss that feels personal. Deeply personal. It feels like a fight, doesn't it? Every single day, you step into the ring with an opponent that seems to hold a personal grudge. You swing with analysis, you jab with strategies, but the market is always faster, stronger, and one step ahead. It's draining your account, sure, but more than that, it's draining your spirit. You're trapped in a cycle of rage, despair, and the desperate, nagging question. Why can't I win? You think if you just find the right indicator, the perfect strategy, the one secret the gurus are hiding, you'll finally land a knockout punch. But what if the fight isn't with the market at all? What if the opponent is you? There is a psychological edge that separates consistently profitable traders from the 95% who fail, and it has nothing to do with predicting the market's next move. It comes from the legendary trading coach Mark Douglas, and it's a single mindset shift so profound yet so simple that most traders will spend their entire careers without ever discovering it. This is the shift that turns the market from a brutal opponent into a neutral stream of opportunities, allowing you to trade with the calm, clarity, and consistency you've been searching for. The core of every frustrated trader's pain is a single, powerful illusion that the market is an entity with intent. An entity that knows you just went long and decides to crash. An entity that sees your stop loss and hunts it down for sport. The feeling is real, but the belief behind it is a catastrophic lie. Mark Douglas, in his legendary book Trading in the Zone, lays down a truth that's both liberating and tough to swallow: the market is neutral. It doesn't know you exist. It doesn't care about your position, your analysis, your hopes, or your fears. It's just a reflection of the collective actions of millions of people, a massive, flowing river of information about supply and demand. It's not personal. It's just information. Think about it. You're staring at a chart, you see a pattern you recognize, and you place a trade, expecting the price to shoot up. When it plummets instead, your brain doesn't just register a loss, it registers a betrayal. You think, it should have gone up. My analysis was right. That should have is the source of all your emotional pain. You're projecting your expectations onto a neutral environment, and then getting hurt when that environment doesn't bend to your personal wishes. Douglas taught that we see the market as a responsive opponent because our own minds interpret its random, neutral information as threatening. Every tick against your position feels like a personal attack. You're not trading the market, you're fighting your perception of it. And as long as you're in that fight, you can't win. The fight itself is the mistake. The consistency you're looking for isn't in the markets, it's in your mind. To dismantle this losing mindset, Douglas laid out what he called the 5 fundamental truths of trading. These aren't strategies, they're your psychological foundation. Internalizing them is what allows a trader to finally stop fighting and start executing. Truth number 1. Anything can happen. This is the hardest pill to swallow. No matter how perfect a setup looks, the outcome is never, ever guaranteed. A freak news event, a huge institutional order, or just the random chaos of the markets can wreck your trade in an instant. Amateurs look for certainty. Pros accept that anything can happen and manage their risk for it. That acceptance is what prevents the shock and anger when the unexpected happens. Truth number 2. You don't need to know what will happen next to make money. This sounds crazy, but it's the core of professional trading. Your job isn't to be a fortune teller. Your job is to have an edge, a strategy that, over many trades, has a higher probability of winning than losing, and to execute it flawlessly every single time it appears. You don't know if this trade will win, but you know that if you take this setup the next 100 times, you're likely to come out ahead. This shifts your focus from predicting the future to running a casino. The house doesn't know if the next spin will be red or black, but it knows the odds are in its favor over the long run. Truth number 3. There is a random distribution between wins and losses. Even with a 60% win rate strategy, you could have a string of 8 losses in a row. You could also have 10 wins in a row. The sequence is totally random. Most traders can't handle this. 3 losses in a row, and they think their strategy is broken. 3 wins, and they feel invincible and get reckless. Professionals understand this randomness. A loss doesn't mean their strategy is bad, and a win doesn't mean they're a genius. It's just the distribution playing out. This belief is what stops revenge trading and euphoria-driven mistakes. Truth number 4. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. Your edge is not a guarantee. It's just a statistical advantage, and often a very slight one. It's a tipped coin, not a two-headed one. When you truly accept this, you stop seeing losses as failures. A loss just becomes a necessary and expected business expense, the cost of letting your edge play out over time. It's the price you pay for the opportunity to hit your winners. And finally, the 5th and most important truth that ties it all together. The now moment. The single mindset shift that changes everything. Every moment in the market is unique. This is it. This is the psychological edge most traders never get. Every single moment on the chart, every candle, every tick, is a unique event, created by a unique mix of traders at that instant. It might look similar to a moment from the past, but it is not the same. So why is this so powerful? Because it frees you from the 2 things that cause the most trading pain, the past and the future. When you're haunted by a past loss, you get scared and hesitate on the next trade, even if the setup is perfect. You're letting a past, unique moment poison the present one. When you're high on a past win, you jump into the next trade recklessly, expecting the same easy money. You're projecting a past outcome onto a new, unique moment. This is what Mark Douglas called trading in the now moment. When you're in the now moment, you aren't thinking about your last trade. You aren't fantasizing about the vacation you'll buy with this one. You are simply present, observing the flow of information, and asking one question. Is my edge present right now? If the answer is yes, you execute. Without hesitation. If the answer is no, you do nothing. You act without fear because you've fully accepted the risk. You know that the outcome of this unique moment is uncertain, and you're at peace with that. You're detached from the outcome because your confidence isn't in this one trade, it's in your edge over the next 100. This is what it means to trade without emotion. The pain doesn't come from the loss itself, it comes from the loss not meeting your expectation. If you have no expectation, no need to be right, no attachment to the outcome, then there's nothing to be hurt by. The market can do whatever it wants, and it won't touch you. You are simply there to run your process. Losses are business expenses. Wins are the result of your edge playing out. It becomes, as many pro traders report, almost boring. And in trading, boring is where consistency lives. This journey from emotional reactor to neutral executor is the hardest part of becoming a trader. Douglas famously said that trading success is 80% psychology and 20% methodology. A trader with an A-grade mindset and a C-grade strategy will always outperform a trader with an A-grade strategy and a C-grade mindset. The solution isn't on your screen, it's in your head. So, be honest in the comments below. What's the single biggest psychological challenge that holds you back? Is it the fear of missing out? Revenge trading after a loss? Is it taking a loss without it feeling like a personal failure? Acknowledging the problem is the first step to fixing it. Let's talk about it. The story we started with, the trader fighting the market, is where most people live and die in their trading careers. They're trapped in a constant battle, a loop of hope and despair, because they see the market as their opponent. The psychological edge Mark Douglas gave us is the realization that there is no opponent. There is only a river of probabilities. You can't control the river. You can't bend it to your will. All you can do is learn to build a solid vessel, your mindset, and develop a process for navigating it. This means accepting uncertainty as the only certainty. It means understanding that your power doesn't come from predicting what happens next, but from knowing you don't need to. It's about detaching your self-worth from any single trade and placing your faith in the law of large numbers. When you fully internalize these truths, the fight ends. The rage and despair disappear. The screen is no longer a battlefield, it's a canvas of information. You're no longer a fighter. You are an observer, a probability manager, executing your plan with the calm, detached discipline of a true professional. You finally understand that the goal was never to conquer the market. It was to conquer yourself.